Hey, everyone! Welcome back to our channel. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. We cover all things related to parenting, child development, and everything in between. Now, let's get into today's topic: physical signs of autism in babies. As parents, we all eagerly watch our babies grow and develop, hoping to see them reach milestones and engage with the world around them. But sometimes, there are signs that raise concerns, prompting us to look a little closer. One of the most common concerns is autism, a developmental disorder that affects social interaction, communication, and behavior. Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, affects children in many different ways, and some signs can be noticed even in infancy. In today's video, we'll discuss some physical signs of autism in babies. It's important to remember that every child develops at their own pace, and not every sign automatically points to autism. However, early identification of possible signs can help you seek the right support and intervention. So, let's get started. Delayed physical development. Moving into more general physical development, another sign that could indicate autism is a delay in physical milestones. Babies with autism may take longer to reach certain developmental milestones, such as rolling over, sitting up, crawling, or walking. For instance, they may seem unusually stiff or overly floppy in their movements, which can affect their ability to engage with the world around them. If your baby seems to be behind in these motor skills, it might be a good idea to speak with your pediatrician to make sure everything is progressing as expected. However, it's important to keep in mind that some children simply develop at different rates, and delays don't always indicate a larger issue. Unusual muscle tone. Another noticeable sign in babies with autism is unusual muscle tone, which can be categorized as either hypotonia, low muscle tone, or hypertonia, high muscle tone. Hypotonia can cause your baby to feel limp or floppy when you pick them up, and they may struggle to hold their head up or maintain good posture. On the other hand, hypertonia might make your baby appear stiff or rigid, and they may have difficulty with movements that require flexibility, such as rolling over or reaching for objects. These muscle tone issues can interfere with a baby's ability to interact with their environment, and they are worth mentioning during developmental checkups. Sensory sensitivities. As your baby explores the world, they will experience all kinds of new sensations. Most babies will show some sensitivity to things like bright lights, loud sounds, or different textures. However, babies with autism may have heightened or unusual sensory sensitivities. This might look like intense reactions to being touched, feeling overwhelmed by loud noises, or becoming distressed by certain fabrics or textures. For example, a baby with autism may pull away from hugs or refuse to touch certain materials. They might also appear distressed by certain smells or lights. While sensitivity to sensory input is common in many babies, for those with autism, these sensitivities can be more intense and persistent, making it harder for them to engage in typical experiences. Repetitive physical movements. Repetitive physical movements, also known as stimmying, can be another sign of autism in babies. These are repetitive body movements or actions, like rocking back and forth, hand flapping, or repetitive finger movements. You might notice your baby engaging in some of these behaviors, especially when they're excited, overstimulated, or anxious. For example, some babies may repeatedly move their hands in front of their face or flap their arms when excited. While these behaviors might seem harmless at first, they're often a way for babies with autism to self-regulate or cope with overstimulation. As your baby grows, you may notice that these stimmying behaviors become more frequent, especially in situations where they are feeling overwhelmed. Lack of eye contact. Eye contact is one of the earliest forms of social communication. Most babies learn to make eye contact with their caregivers in the first few months of life. However, babies with autism may have difficulty making or maintaining eye contact. You might notice that your baby seems uninterested in looking at people, or they avoid direct eye contact altogether. This lack of eye contact can sometimes be one of the first indicators of autism, particularly when it is accompanied by other signs, like a lack of responsiveness to voices or facial expressions. If your baby is consistently avoiding eye contact, it might be worth discussing this with your pediatrician during a checkup. Lack of social smiling or social engagement. Social smiles are typically one of the first signs of emotional connection for babies. Most babies will start smiling by around 6 to 8 weeks old in response to familiar faces or voices. However, babies with autism may not exhibit this behavior. You might notice that your baby doesn't respond with a smile when you smile at them, or they may seem uninterested in interacting with others. In addition to this, babies with autism may not engage in social behaviors like making faces or trying to imitate expressions. They might not enjoy interactive play the same way other babies do. Again, it's important to remember that some babies are just more reserved, but if you notice a pattern of lack of social engagement, it's worth monitoring. Delayed or absent babbling. Another area where delays can show up is in communication. Typically, babies start to babble and experiment with sounds around 4 to 6 months of age. This early babbling helps them develop communication skills, which is an important step in their social development. However, babies with autism may either delay or completely miss this stage. If your baby hasn't started babbling by 6 months, or if they are not imitating sounds or facial expressions, it may indicate a delay in their language development. Delayed babbling is often one of the first signs that something may be off with a baby's development, and it can be a red flag for autism, particularly when paired with other signs. Problems with sleep patterns. Autism can sometimes affect sleep patterns in babies. This could be a result of sensory sensitivities or difficulties with self-regulation. Babies with autism may have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or may wake up frequently during the night. They may seem more fussy or uncomfortable during bedtime routines, or you might notice they are more sensitive to changes in their sleep environment. While sleep issues are common for many babies, if your little one is having frequent sleep disruptions and other developmental signs are also present, it could indicate autism. So, what should you do if you notice some of these signs in your baby? First and foremost, don't panic. Many of these behaviors can be part of normal development, and every baby is unique. However, if you're concerned about any of these signs, it's always a good idea to talk to a pediatrician or a developmental specialist. Early intervention and support can make a huge difference in helping your child thrive, no matter where they fall on the spectrum. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more videos on parenting, child development, and much more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.